Treaty. Now another question is, was President Obama, who is a constitutional scholar, so clever as to be aware that by accepting gifts without permission, he would place Article 1 in liability for not stopping him? Put him into the box that he was already in. Then Article 1 starts to get nervous. 2 times he's accepted gifts. They've never done anything about it. They become liable. In Article 3, some smart plaintiff get the court to order Article 1 to do something about it. They're all so embarrassed they lose their elections. So as soon as this comes up, all of a sudden, instead of a quick surgical strike, we get a powwow here with the U.S. Senate about what to do, which is a form of repentance, to go back to where you were last sure you were doing things right and restart again from there forgiven. Yeah, we haven't prayed yet today, huh? Hey. What's the story here? Are we going in? There is some motion or something. I guess that's staff. The old Republican representative democracy, which is different from apartheid because anyone can be elected to have the privilege, not only the white-skinned people. At least in theory. Is there economic apartheid? There's poor people. Who were the poorest elected members of Congress? Have we done an article on that? I've seen the richest members written up a few times. USCP planning ahead about where you're going to sit. What was the communist expression? A lapdog of the capitalist? You're too big to be a lapdog. Waterboy, that was The Odd Life of Timothy Green. I think President Bashir gave me a cab ride once, about 2 years ago. He wouldn't turn around. I had my head video camera on. He talked, but he wouldn't turn around. He's a doctor. He was educated at King's College in London. He's got a lot of friends in Britain, classmates. President Bashir's classmates in London and the English nobility. And then the same way with Saudi Arabia and all the oil money. International money and culture is afraid of local homegrown democracy. Japan elected their finance minister to be prime minister after an email to them about keeping the petroleum on the balance sheet as an asset instead of double expensing it as fuel and pollution. They were really impressed that somebody spent enough time figuring out that you could take the brine from a solar seawater distillation economy, combine it with the petroleum, and make PVC irrigation pipe for the fresh water that you were making. So the byproduct of the brine became the building material to distribute your fresh water. And then nitrogen was going to be the fuel back then, but that was too risky. The Super Bowl got wind of how risky that was. And then now instead it be maybe energy towers, updraft and downdraft towers that are like 3/4 of a mile tall chimneys that create these 50-mile-an-hour winds 24/7 to turn turbines. So you don't need the petroleum for fuel, you use it for PVC and keep it on the balance sheet. You lease all this PVC pipe for 15 years and recycle it. And then you're wealthy forever. The whole planet for the next 2.5 billion years is using your petroleum to make the pipe to carry the fresh water around that you distill with a solar, what is it, optical quality PVC Fresnel lenses. Yeah, like the clear water bottle, only it's a lens. And it heats up the seawater enough so that it distills it. Plus you can use it in the updraft towers to increase the temperature so the air rises with less surface area to power it. So an alternate energy strategy, one guy complained because the energy towers make hot spots in the atmosphere, low pressure and high pressure hot spots. Then Mexico came up with an alternative using shadows and sails to reinforce the Hadley-Farrell and the Farrell-Polar air cell boundaries. How you doing, Mecca? In your lap? Is this whole mess ended up in my lap?
I'm way back there, almost at the bridge.
It would be like what? Say, we're 250 million, 10%, 20 million disgruntled Americans leave and go to northern Mexico, demand that the southwest U.S. be partitioned off and given to them as their own country. So instead it would be like 4 or 5 million Syrians leave Syria, demand these parts of the country be given to them. What do we have? 10 million Americans that are illegal residents. So if they all left and said they wanted the border moved north a few miles so they could have a place to live in their own country, would we do it? Come on, Mecca. Finally got to applying it to domestic solutions right when the line happens to be moving. Now, Octopus's Garden. How many members, how many Al Jazeera American members are in the area? I guess your RIF chip would hook up with the camera and you'd see some statistics. Hi. Come on, Mecca. Hi. Good. Good, Mecca. Hi. Everyone loves you, Mecca. You're so lucky. People all smile at you. Good. Good. Another metal detector, second time, make sure. Second metal detector, make sure, huh? Hi. Oh, you're so friendly, Mecca.
You guys use surplus paper.
Maybe we go around over this way here. Come on. Reserved for security. Good. Hi. Good. Hi.
You might want to get him a corner spot. Not up there. You can't take him up there. That's somebody's seat.
How about here? In here? Right by this guy here. I don't know. We'll feel our way. If we don't fit, we can always relocate. Come on, Mecca. Good. Hi. We're going to try to put you in my lap. Good, Mecca. Up you go. Good. There you go. That's good. Good, Mecca. There you go. Good. Okay. Good, Mecca. United States Senate. Is it true if you could touch a senator in ancient Rome, all your crimes were forgiven? Is that smart defense strategy or what? I mean, why would you assassinate a senator if you could have all your crimes forgiven because you touched his robe? Romans, they're pretty smart. You're very popular, Mecca. People want to take your picture.
I saw Paul. I see full staff back there. Yeah. We tend to do sort of a web story. then that
Good Mecca.
Carrying one of the dogs.
I think, to be honest, with this, it changes. They do when it used to be called.
Anybody like to sign a petition for Exodus 2?
Yeah.
U.S., Syrian, Russian, and China's Exodus 2
So I don't know about
peace
you,
plan.
certainly could be a space in the paper with the British.
We can amend the UN Charter to require that any country permit people to leave
Made over here.
if and when they want to.
I may need to get a picture of you.
Oh, yeah, that was what I was after. Thank you so much. I'm sorry about that.
So walls off in Maine.
Good Mecca.
One begins and the other begins. Share with the girls. I'm going to run the last one. So I'll see you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe I want to send that.
My name's Jens. I'm writing for 6 German newspapers. May I ask you what kind of dog this is?
Yeah, this is Mecca, my Afghan hound service animal.
Okay. Mecca?
Yeah,
As in the city?
yeah. Mecca works with me to help me control my obesity. In
By
the
eating your food or?
partially, rides. I've trained Mecca to run along beside the bicycle with me. So Mecca enforces our bicycle schedule and motivates me to ride the bicycle and exercise, and thereby help control my obesity.
Okay.
And if you think it's easy to train a dog to run beside the bicycle, I'd like your readers to try to do it themselves.
Okay. Why did you come here? Why did you bring her here?
We're here because we have a peace treaty for Syria. It's called Exodus 2, and the plan is for Syrians to be able to leave Syria and go to their neighbor countries, and you're welcome.
Can I keep this or?
Please, yeah, that's the last one I have, but Chairman Mendez has a copy too, so
Can I take a picture of your dog?
please, yeah, it's a free country, help protect it. And in Germany, they say, who controls the logic controls the government. Have you heard that expression?
No.
Yeah, I've heard it said that who controls the logic
Makes sense.
controls the government. So here in the United States, I'm trying to teach that German principle that any citizen, by understanding the logic, and that's what you'll find in that treaty, applying Exodus logic to Syria today. The same way the Jewish people got their state, Israel, as a result of Exodus 1, we would like Exodus 2 for the Syrians to solve their problem.
And can I ask your name?
William Hale, H-A-L-E, you'll find it in the treaty. I'm also known as Haji Mohammed Omar. And what was your name again, please?
Jens Schmitz.
Jens Schmitz? Jens Schmitz. And what is your publication, should I ask?
6 German papers. The main one is called. Where's Mr. Steele? Not here.
Oh, please. I have a friend who speaks German, Japanese, and Chinese.
Wow. It's impressive.
Yeah, may God give her peace.
How old are you, if you want to tell me?
I don't know how to. I don't go by exact age because of discrimination, but I'm old.
Okay.
And my dog is young.
Well, I'm glad to hear and thanks for talking to me.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Jamjes. It's unto you. Good Mecca.
Have a seat here?
That's a good idea, unless a human being needs it, and then.
Well, let's put him here. I mean, God, he's a good boy.
Good, thanks.
Pays a lot of attention.
Yeah, Mecca's a good dog.
We got to ask him how he's going to vote, though.
how he's going to vote. How are you going to vote, Mecca? You want to go over there and walk with all the Syrian people on the Exodus?
What is your dog's breed?
Pardon?
His or her breed?
Afghan hound. Yeah. Mecca's an Afghan hound. Thanks for asking. Jen Schmitz. Alhamdulillah.
Sorry, yes.
Oh, do you have something now?
I'm so sorry. Right now, I just have 2 copies left for reporters. If I can get
But
extra.
not for, oh, are you the formulation committee staff?
No, I work for the Senate Press Guide.
Okay, thank you. I got to do with corporate and support too. Most of these people are going to support it. Well, you know, Rand Paul, I think, is on this committee. Yeah. So we're going to have a little fireworks.
Yeah, I think so. No, you.
Should we change the name of the committee? Would John Lennon like it to be called the Love Thy Neighbor Nation Committee? Would it make any difference?
And accommodation.
Jag är inte som tar. Ministrarna behöver aldrig tala en kunskap.
They're going to kick it off.
Det var ju för hela riksdagen.
Don't win this again.
Kallas jag. Det kallas inte ministerförhör. Det är inte det här.
What's your dog's name?
Mecca?
How do you spell it?
Any way you want, it's
No, is it
okay.
M-E-C-C-A? Mecca?
Yeah, any way is okay. Mecca,
Mecca.
to help me, think of my... I figured if I had to call a name out, I might as well call a name where anyone's welcome to come visit.
Now, what kind of a dog is it?
An Afghan hound.
Afghan.
Yeah. My grandmother raised collies, and this seemed to be a close version, but a little more active.
I seem to like it a lot.
Yeah, Mecca's a really good dog.
He's a good dog, I can tell. How old?
Young.
2 years.
Try to avoid exact ages because of discrimination about age and stuff.
Good dog, I can tell. Are you going to have a good hearing? Yeah. No barking. You can't bark.
Yeah, Mecca sat through the movie Lincoln and only barked when the General Lee surrendered. That's the only time Mecca barked. Kathleen Kennedy and Steven Spielberg must have had the exact right camera angle on the horse when General Lee surrendered to know a dog would perceive it that way and made the dog bark. We saw the movie twice,
He barked both times.
both times, and only in that spot. Yeah, please. It's a free country. Help protect it. Yeah, may what we do be as beautiful as how we look, right? Here comes a committee member. Good, Nick. There's Senator McCain. And what's the news from Arizona?
Yeah, I know, but it's just,
Good luck. Up. There you go. That's good. Uh-oh, okay. Here, I gotta... Oh, you don't like it.
There you go. Well, now you're doing okay. Good dog.
Yeah, Arizona's on the 30-degree latitude third rail of our planet for energy tower, updraft and downdraft energy generation with these 3/4 mile tall towers that produce 50-mile-an-hour winds 24/7, 365. They're called energy towers on Wikipedia. Arizona's right near the 30-degree latitude. There's concern they make hot spots in the atmosphere of updraft and downdraft, but we're working on smoothing that out. Arizona. Who knows, we might get a humanitarian corridor around the world between on 30 degrees latitude, planetary third rail. Arizona be our front row seat. Maybe Mexico and northern Mexico, all the lawlessness there, we could set up some kind of international boundary about 36 miles wide, like the Oklahoma Panhandle, and have the whole world keeping attention to making sure no one crosses it illegally, welcoming people to travel east and west within it, but north and south be protected because it's an international corridor. Champagne corks to that, huh?
I don't know. It was like
Corker.
I'm definitely on a
Now the U.S. Senate has authority to give permission, has a duty to give permission to Article 2, the president, before the president can accept a medal from the Knesset or from Saudi Arabia, the way Barack Obama has in June 3rd, 2009, and again on March 3rd, 2013. The young lawyer is intentionally...
Have Mecca save my seat.
Okay. There's loyalty in an old boy network. So the young Harvard Law Review editor has kind of not checkmated, but placed the Senate in check, kind of daring the U.S. Senate to say, hey, you didn't get permission from us to accept a medal from the king of Saudi Arabia or the Knesset of Israel.
Yeah, that's the thing most of them like.
And once who brought that subject up, this meeting immediately was scheduled so that we could make sure the president gets permission from Article 1. It's the difference between politics and repentance and religion compared to the law, where it's matters of fact. So now the Senate's trying to do their best to advise the president. Senator McCain says President Obama doesn't need permission from the Senate because John is a former military man himself, and he doesn't want the presidency hobbled by having to get permission from Article 1. However, it's supposed to be a clear and present danger of attack upon the U.S., and Syria is not quite that. It makes you wonder why the United States Post Office, email at USPS, or better yet, email at USPS.gov. We don't have those, so it's not a war zone on the internet, and NSA having that's what Michael Dell pointed out. They let the telephone become a war zone and then invaded everyone's privacy instead of protecting the telephone with the USPS email system, so you could pay 20 cents for a stamp and be sure nobody looked at your mail or put a cookie in your computer. Or better yet, you could get a USPS email name on your passport, and your legal name would be offline in a secure government computer. So when you traveled, yeah, he's okay, he's a legal U.S. citizen, this email passport's good. But who is he? Where does he live? We ask him. He doesn't have to tell you. This email address is good enough on the passport. Then why not get a driver's license like that? Good cops, bad cops. Be able to have a travel in the U.S., and if there are any warrants, they'll find them because your email driver's license is checked, just like AOL, against all your screen names and your legal name. And if there are no matches, you don't have to give up your privacy. The U.S. start to role model some things like that, and the whole world will want to make sure the U.S. stays in charge, because they've seen the small-time petty dictators use all the other ways to infiltrate their privacy. Like in Syria, if you want to leave the country, no ID, no papers, no passport needed, anybody can go out. But if you want to travel towards Damascus, you got to show your permission slip, your ID, verify you have the right to go in that direction. Isn't that what police are the best at doing, directing traffic? Isn't that what the U.S. ought to be offering to do in Syria, is to make sure traffic, like reverse osmosis that Israel uses to make fresh water. So it's reverse osmosis. You separate the dissatisfied people from the local controlling group, and then you promise the local controlling group that the drug dealers and jihadists and stuff can't travel towards them without permission, so they get the best of both worlds. Then the people that leave, they get to form limited liability companies like the Alaska Native Land Claims Settlement Act of 1973 that U.S. Senator Ted Stevens helped to write.
Mecca was saving it for me.
Good, Mecca. Perfect. Save the seat for the man.
Yeah, good time.
Then in the safety of the UN camps around Syria, the 2 million now, maybe 4 million after the U.S. Senate treaty, Syrians who have left the country, they powwow with their LLCs about where they're from and the redistricting maps. Redistrict Syria. No gerrymandering. And then everyone agrees, and the right of return in a couple 5 years, they can go home and they have their own little, like instead of Carolina, it's North Syria and South Syria, or Virginia and West Virginia, Syria and East Syria, Louisiana Purchase, or maybe Iraq, line up with East Syria. And Syria was originally European boundaries drawn after World War II.
No U.S. military intervention in Syria. Say no to a war in Syria. We cannot afford to have another war. We need to have health care, education in our country. Gary, no more war in Syria.
We'll try to have an open microphone for 10 minutes like Berkeley City Hall. No, the gavel didn't come down. Not until the gavel comes down. Then the meeting's in order. There's no gavel yet. That's why Mecca knows at home. Mecca drops the bone on the floor for the gavel. Mecca calls the meeting to order by picking up a bone and dropping it on the floor. The gavel hasn't come down yet. As long as we're not disturbing other people, we have the right to talk. Analog nodes. Analog nodes for internet security. Massachusetts 8th graders are outscoring others because of strict standards. There's the gavel.
This hearing of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee will come to order. Let me first say that there are not actions of approval or disapproval from the audience. We welcome you to be here on this important occasion. But we welcome you to be observers of this important occasion. And the chair will not tolerate actions that are in violation of the committee rules. Let me welcome Secretary Perry back to the committee that he chaired, Secretary Hagel, and the committee that he served on, and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dempsey, to the committee. We convene this hearing, as we have convened many before, to make one of the most difficult decisions we are asked and tasked to make: the authorization of the use of American military power, this time in Syria, to respond to the horrific chemical attack of August 21st that took the lives of 1,429 Syrians and 2,420 children. The images of that day were sickening. Remind me the world cannot ignore the humanity and the heart of this act. I do not take our responsibility to authorize military force lightly or make such decisions easily.